For decades, the world believed in a single, unbreakable truth. If you attack Saudi Arabia, you attack the United States. That was the expectation, but today, the reality has shattered. Saudi Arabia has officially accused the US of abandonment. While Iranian missiles rain down on Aramco in the UAE, the air and iron shield is nowhere to be found. Why? Because every single US interceptor is being diverted to protect Israel, leaving the Arab world defenseless. This isn't just a localized conflict anymore. It's a full-scale regional collapse that has just reached the front doors of global tech and energy. From the burning gas pipelines of Awaz to the total blackout of Amazon's data centers in the UAE, the world you knew yesterday is gone. Yesterday, global headlines were filled with hope. US media outlets were flooded with propaganda claiming that Iran had finally agreed to sit down at the negotiating table. It was a beautiful story, but it was a lie. Today, Iran delivered its response. There will be no more talking. Iran has officially entered full-scale war mode. Their reasoning? They claim the US committed an act of unforgivable treachery during the mediation process. But the chaos doesn't stop at the rhetoric. In a bizarre and terrifying twist, Iran actually launched an attack on Oman, the very country serving as the neutral mediator between Tehran and Washington. How does a nation attack its own messenger? Iran's foreign minister claims it was a miscommunication. Because so many senior commanders and high-level leaders have been assassinated recently, the Iranian military chain of command is in shambles. Frontline units are reportedly operating without orders, unable to recognize who is even in charge. Whether it was a mistake or a rogue operation, the message is clear. The fire is spreading to everyone. While the world watches the Persian Gulf, the North has turned into a slaughterhouse. Israel has just confirmed a massive blow to Hezbollah, announcing the elimination of 30 high-ranking commanders in a single wave of strikes. This wasn't a random escalation. Hezbollah, acting as Iran's sword, launched a barrage of rockets from Lebanon into Israeli territory. Israel's response was surgical and devastating. They didn't just hit back, they issued an immediate evacuation order of 53 towns across Lebanon. What followed was a scorched earth aerial campaign. Israel's Air Force decimated Hezbollah's central headquarters in Beirut and destroyed launch sites hidden within 50 different villages. Among the dead is a prominent member of parliament. Israel's message to the world is simple. We will not stop until Hezbollah is erased. They are now fighting a two-front war, and they are doing it with total disregard for the old rules of engagement. Now, let's look at why your world is about to get much more expensive. This is no longer just a war of soldiers, it is a war of resources. The US and Israel have successfully sabotaged a critical Iranian gas pipeline in Awaz. This was a direct hit to Iran's economic heart, but Iran's retaliation is designed to make the West bleed. Iran has begun targeting every oil tanker and gas pipeline headed for Europe. They are effectively trying to choke the continent's energy supply. But they didn't stop at oil. In a move that has shocked the tech world, Iran launched a targeted strike on Amazon data centers in the United Arab Emirates. This wasn't a random hit. By targeting the cloud infrastructure, they have caused a massive performance impact on global data services. Amazon relied on the UAE as a safe zone for its data centers, but that safety has vanished.
At the same time, the Saudi oil giant Aramco has been hit again. We've shared the exclusive visuals of the destruction in our private WhatsApp group for those who need to see the scale of the impact.
Even Qatar,
A nation that usually balances both sides, has had enough. The Qatari foreign minister issued a chilling statement, quote, "We cannot turn a blind eye to Iranian attacks on our country. Iran must pay the price for the blood of our people," unquote. When Qatar starts talking about paying the price, you know the diplomatic floor has fallen out. The most shocking development, however, is coming from Kuwait. Visuals have emerged of American F-15 fighter jets exploding and falling from the sky. The cause is still being debated, but the psychological impact is undeniable. The US military, once seen as invincible in these skies, is facing a nightmare scenario. Their air defense stocks are running dangerously low. Because the US is prioritizing the protection of Israel above all else, their military bases across the region are becoming sitting ducks. Iran knows this. They've spent 30 years studying the weak points of American infrastructure. They aren't trying to fight a fair fight. They are hitting the specific nodes that make the US military function. And now, Europe is being forced to pick a side. Germany is currently in an emergency parliamentary session. They have two choices: launch direct strikes on Iran or provide total military support for the US coalition. With France and the UK also signaling a move toward defensive intervention, the Western Bloc is preparing for a collision that could trigger a global depression. Despite the hundreds of missiles already fired, Iran is claiming they haven't even used their real weapons yet. They recently released footage of massive, sophisticated underground missile cities that are built to survive any conventional airstrike. If these doomsday missiles are launched, the current chaos will look like a skirmish. As of this recording, the global markets are in a state of panic. Crude oil prices are projected to spike by at least 10% in the coming days. The Petro-Dollar, the very foundation of the US economy, is under threat because Saudi Arabia no longer feels protected by the currency they've supported for half a century. The alliance is fraying, the tech is failing, and the missiles are still flying. We are moving into a new era of history where old alliances are being burned for fuel. Is the United States' era of Middle Eastern dominance officially over, or is this just the beginning of a much larger global realignment? One thing is certain: the safe world is a thing of the past. For continuous updates and the raw footage we can't show here, join our WhatsApp community. And if you want to stay ahead of the headlines with deep dive analysis like this, make sure to subscribe to Buzz Soda. Let us know in the comments, do you think the US made a mistake by prioritizing one ally over the entire region? Let's talk about it below. Peace.